Lords, ladies, and nobles, pray all attend. We have a few announcements to make before getting started. First, by attending, you agree to have your likeness and voice recorded and rebroadcast on social media channels. Please make sure that your mic is muted if it is not already. Please update your display name to reflect your society name minus any titles. You can do this by hovering over your video feed, clicking on the three dots, and then selecting Rename. For any award recipients, your award medallion and promissory scroll will be arranged to be delivered to you at a future event. Thank you. On this 25th day of July, Anno Societatis 55, here opens the court of their Majesties Alexander and Tahira, sovereign crown to the kingdom of Caid. Your Majesties, do you have any comments for your gathered populace?
Hi everyone, it's great to be here today. We are so happy to be able to join our populace. If you see the garb that His Majesty and I are wearing, it was a special gift. We just want to do a shout out to the wonderful crew that made it for us. It's Dame Colette of Carigwen, Lady Silly of Isles, Lady Larige of Darroch, Lady Etoine of Darroch, and headed by Countess Albrecht. So we hope you enjoy court today, and that's all that I have.
We are so very excited to be here today. Some wonderful things are happening in our kingdom. First and foremost, to Her Grace Faiza, special announcement directly to you. Today I honor you in the most magnificent garb that I have worn in some time. Look how snazzy. I honor you, Your Grace, with this. Why, does my populace ask? Would I honor somebody that I look to speak with and have arrested so that we may chat? I will tell you, days ago, the royal cloud namer did come forward and tell me that he had a cloud to be named, and he named it the Foot. And from high, we did see a sign from the heavens, a foot. Immediately followed, Her Grace did send me a picture of her own tiny foot. I knew this was a sign. Good things are coming to Caid. We have mended the tears within this kingdom now. Her Grace and I, the Faiza, are once again simpatico, and Caid shall thrive for it. Further on other notes, we would like to thank, first of all, Tanweer for their wonderful donation to the Kingdom Fund. And as a reminder to all the other baronies, it would be lovely to see you also donate, as Tanweer did, the $500 they sent to the Kingdom Fund. Please, 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 give as if the kingdom depended on it. Thank you.
Your Highnesses, do you have any comments for the gathered populace?
Greetings, Caid. It's wonderful to be here and to see everybody. That first few minutes, just looking at your wonderful faces, really makes me choke up. I hope everybody's well and keeping safe. Over to you, Pansa.
Hello, everybody. I hope everyone's summer is going well. I miss everybody except Nico. I don't miss that guy.
Your Excellencies Logan and Tina, do you have any comments for the gathered populace?
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming today. It's a beautiful Saturday. I hope that you are doing well. And if it's super hot, I hope you're in the air conditioner. Have a great day.
Thank you guys all for being here. For those that have been attending the Summer Arts Collegium of the Desert, I hope you've been having fun. And we will have more after court. So please join us back after court is over.
Your Excellencies Ilya and Batasha, do you have any comments for the gathered populace?
Hello, everybody. I'm going to try to keep this brief because we'll get to talk again in a little bit.
Thank you so much for joining all of us today. It's great to see everybody virtually. It's a little bittersweet as we will be stepping down, but we do have our heirs to step up today, and we're looking very forward to being able to present them to you all.
Your Excellency Rasheen, do you have any comments for the gathered populace?
Yes, I just wanted to thank Their Excellencies of Dreiburgen for this wonderful event. I was able to attend a class this morning, and I'm looking forward to more. And also, I wanted to thank them as well for allowing, and Their Excellencies of Gyldenholt for allowing us to bestow upon some of our members of our populace some awards. His Excellency wishes he could be here today, but rumor has it he is scoping out some territory in the West, and Your Majesty, if you could talk to the West about their cell phone reception, just next treaty negotiation, that would be wonderful. So, thank you.
It is an honorable task and worthwhile to encourage and foster chivalry in the area of youth combat. And when one of tender years shows such nobility of spirit, it is an event worthy of the crown's notice. Thus was created the Order of the Argent Star, created to recognize those youths whose courtesy of spirit, virtuous acts, and noble demeanor upon the field of youth combat bring glory and honor to themselves and to Caid. And the symbol of the order is a star of silver, for as a tiny star may guide one's path, so will such children become the martial leaders of tomorrow's society. Now, therefore, do we, Alexander and Tahira, recognize Benjamin of Calafia.
One of my favorite things to give out. This award goes to tiny, little itty-bitty, soon-to-be really big Caidans for wonderful fighting prowess. I am very excited to give this award out. Well done, Benjamin. Well done.
For the newest companion of the Argent Star, hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Your Majesties, the Baronage of Gyldenholt begs leave to recognize worthy nobles of their lands and conduct business to promote the welfare of the kingdom.
Let them proceed.
Here opens the court of Iliad and Vitasha, Baron and Baroness of Gyldenholt. Baron.
It is, as my lady wife mentioned, it's pretty bittersweet being here with everybody and representing the crown and representing the people of Gyldenholt has been moments of challenge, but without a doubt, an extremely rewarding experience. And I have no words in which I could express in regards that will truly convey how I feel and how we feel for our court and guard that we've had over the years, and as they've helped us through for being able to help serve everybody involved and to help ensure that the legacy of Gyldenholt is maintained as a place that everybody loves to come to. So thank you all.
To be typical, thank you. We couldn't have done it without you. And we'll miss being up here for you, but we will still be around. We thank you so much for your time, your dedication, and everything you have done for us. As he said, we really have not been able to find the words to express our deepest thanks to you.
For the retiring court and guard of Gyldenholt, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip. Your Majesty, the Baron and Baroness of Gyldenholt beg leave to address the crown. May you grant their humble request.
They have our leave.
Gracious sovereigns, long have we held the lands and honors of Gyldenholt as your vassals, and ever we have striven to do your will and do justice to your people.
We hope that you are well satisfied with our service and pray that you will now accept back from us those lands and honors that are the barony of Gyldenholt.
Our faithful subjects, we are most grateful for your service. As it is your wish, we do now receive back from you the lands and honors of Gyldenholt and absolve you and your homage without defiance.
Receive back then, my gracious king and queen, your fief.
And may you ever rule this realm in peace and bounty.
We thank you again for your service and grant you leave to retire.
Long live Iliad and Vitasha. Hip hip. Hip hip. Hip hip.
Their Majesties, King Alexander and Queen Tahira, command Jens Indramspaki and Ida, Harold's daughter, to present themselves, that they might receive this fief and pledge their fealty and homage.
Jens and Ida, well pleased with you and ever concerned with the welfare and wishes of our subjects, we are minded to invest you as Baron and Baroness, and grant unto you the barony of Gyldenholt, to hold as a fief from our hands. Will you accept this charge? Pledge us your homage, and swear fealty and service to this, our crown and kingdom.
Your Majesty, I will.
Please raise your circlet as an implement on which to swear fealty.
Here do I swear homage to the King and Queen of Caid, and become their true vassal, pledging to defend, represent, and answer
for all my people,
with honor and dignity, to administer the affairs of this barony with the same justice which the crown would tender, to serve and honor our Lord King and Lady Queen in all matters concerning this realm, and to guard their rights with all my strength, until the crown depart from the throne, or death take me, or the world end.
So say I, Jens.
So say I, Ida.
And we, for our part, do make it known to all present and to come that we do receive Jens and Ida as Baron and Baroness of Gyldenholt, and accept them as our vassals.
And that we guarantee to them this barony held of us against every creature with all our power, until we depart from our throne,
Death take us,
or the world end.
So say we, Alexander, King of Caid.
So say we, Tahira, Queen of Caid.
Wear now the circlet of your office, Baron Jens, as a reminder of your oath.
Wear now the circlet of your office, Baroness Ida, as a reminder of your oath.
Be it known that this day that we, Alexander and Tahira, do grant unto Baron Jens and Baroness Ida the lands and honors of the barony of Gyldenholt, with all the rights, powers, and obligations thereof, and that they hold these lands and titles as sworn vassal to us and to our heirs to come. For Baron Jens and Baroness Ida, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip.
Your Excellencies, have you word for your people?
Yes, Your Majesty, we do. Thank you, Your Majesties, and the members of this wondrous barony, as we move ever forward together in the direction of our passions within the SCA.
May you find our hearts and arms ever open and welcoming. Gold Forest, you have our blessings to continue.
It is both the duty and the pleasure of the Baron and Baroness to exemplify courtesy and gentle behavior among their subjects, to extend the hospitality of the barony to all who journey within its borders. As these fine qualities flourish through the barony, the Baron and excuse me, the Baron and Baroness choose upon the investiture to create a court assistant with them their duties. At this time, their Excellencies call into service Kamer Conha, the Chamberlain, Lady Juliana de Esmer, Hadul Conad Ebith, Chief Lady in Waiting, the Honorable Lady Madeline Lenore Hidalgo de Figueres, Semecone Seamstress, the Honorable Lady Ellen de Hockmore, Domstolette, the rest of court, Mistress Colette de Montepelia, the Honourable Lady Enid Wynne, Lord Finn Alotgren, Lady Liz von der Kierhoff, Lord Gabriello de Arexio, Lady Emile Atmore, Lady Muriel O'Doyle, Milady Donna Callahan of the Isles, the Fia Legay, the Companion, Baroness Morgana Ferrieri di Vellateri, and the Roth Jean V, their advisors, Duchess Bridget Lucia Mackenzie, Countess Lenora Morgana, Countess Sikilas, forgive me, Countess Carlas MacGregor, Misters Car Edwin Killigin, the Hamsko Ventier, those who have opinions, Master Redorn Robert MacGregor, and Master Rowan Killigin. It is both the duty and the pleasure of the Baron and Baroness to ensure the protection of their subjects from foes, foul weather, and the fierce son of Gyldenholt. To that end, the Baron and Baroness please, upon their investiture, to create a guard to defend the populace and maintain their shelter. At this time, their Excellencies call into their guard the Vartskip Stiori, the captain of the guard, Lord Finner the Squintergen Munderson, Gothi's Bill Story, the Baron's Finder, Lord Ivar Sigurden, Verdir, their guard, the Honourable Lady Valeria Gabrieli, the Honourable Lady Daphne Thomas, the Honourable Lord Daphne Thomas, the Honourable Lady Via von Baden, the Honourable Lord Richard the Bowman, Lord Eric Dersuch and Lord Zum Sroshenkatz, Lord Constantine in McGavin McDonald, Lord Ulf Kuikabasi, and Lord Reynold Collin. Excellencies,
We welcome you as members of our court and guard of Gyldenholt, for we do so desire your companionship from anniversary to anniversary, from morntide to morntide, from evening to evening, with joy and frith unto all encountered.
And we, for our part, gift unto you an opportunity to become a necessary unit for the good of the whole of Gyldenholt, to keep traditions alive the best we can, to listen from anniversary to anniversary, from morntide to morntide, from evening unto evening, with joy and frith unto all encountered.
For the court and guard, heap heap, heap heap, heap heap. Here closes the court of Jens and Ada.
Here resumes the court of their Majesties Alexander and Tahira. There are those within the kingdom whose noble demeanor and special contributions have enriched our realm in ways indefinable within the usual system of awards, and yet who are much deserving of honor. It is the prerogative of the Crown to recognize such individuals with the title of Court Baron or Baroness. Their Majesties hereby recognize Ilya Alexandrovich and Vitasha Ivanova Doch.
Natasha, we thank you so much for all of your service that you've done for Gyldenholt and for the kingdom. I know your populace thanks you, and we thank you.
Ilya, I met you so many years ago and broke your finger. And I apologize for that profusely, accidentally, but you did pay me back. The day they offered you knighthood, I was your next fight in that tourney. And my goodness, did you spank my behind. And for that spanking, Ilya, I want to thank you personally, because that was the beginning of a wonderful friendship between you and I. And all you have done for this great kingdom and for that barony, I could not be more pleased with you, nor can I give you no more thanks than I do now. It is an amazing job you have done. Thank you. Thank you.
For Baron Ilya and Baroness Vitasha, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip. Whereas it has come to our notice that through diverse great efforts, there are some gentles who have considerably enriched our realm. It is thus our pleasure to raise them to the rank, estate, and title of a lord, lady, or noble of our realm, and award them arms. We, therefore, Alexander and Tahira, recognize Kara Hallsdaughter and Gunlaud Leifson.
It is frequently said by many that receiving an award of arms is the first award that many of us receive in the SCA, and it's one that we remember for our entire SCA lifetimes. I hope that by giving you these award of arms, that this will be the first of many awards you receive. Thank you for all the work you are doing for this kingdom.
Nobles hereby named, we at this time charge you with the responsibilities of this rank and to consult with our heralds to determine suitable and unique arms. For the newest armigers of Caid, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip. It is one of the more pleasant duties of the Crown to encourage the development of artistic skills and scientific expertise among its subjects. When an artisan has excelled consistently in a particular art or science and has shared that beauty and knowledge with others to the greater enrichment of the realm, then it becomes not only the duty, but the joy of the Crown to recognize such endeavor. Therefore was created the Order of the Harpe Argent, given by the Crown to recognize exceptional skill in a particular art form or scientific field. Now, therefore, do we, Alexander and Tahira, recognize Emmeline Atmore for basket weaving and period agricultural research, and Sigbjorn Sigmundarson for period hound coursing research.
These two gentles were recommended to us specifically for their enthusiasm in helping other people learn their crafts, specifically the classes that they teach and their passion for what they do. We are so thankful to have you in our kingdom, and we look forward to seeing more of your research and more of your amazing talents.
For the newest companions of the Harpe Argent, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip. Unto all those whom these presents come, we, Alexander and Tahira, King and Queen of the sovereign realm of Caid, send greetings. It is our command that the horsemen of Judgment Keep should enjoy the rights and privileges of a right noble household of Caid unto our royal charter. They shall continue, as they have to date, to abide by the commandments of any ancient charters and traditions, and to add to the culture of our realm, and to provide service to our realm and its several subjects as need may arise.
The Horsemen of Judgment Keep, a group I'm not completely familiar with, but I have seen many of their great deeds, and I am thrilled to be able to give them this award that apparently they are so deserving for.
For the right noble Horsemen of Judgment's Keep, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip. Your Majesties, the Baronage of Dunor begs leave to recognize worthy nobles of their lands.
Let them proceed.
Here opens the court of their Excellencies Bjorn and Rasheen. Throughout the barony, there come deeds or acts that bear recognition outside the regular structure of awards. For such deeds does the barony bestow the Order of the Crimson Poppy. Therefore, in recognition of their outstanding efforts and contributions to the barony of Dunor, do we, Bjorn and Rasheen, recognize Andrew Baird.
So for this award, I believe that the words that His Excellency Bjorn sent me really sum it up. So Drew is not only my knight, but my friend, but I'm only one person. And the Crimson Poppy is not about what he has done for me personally, but what he's done for the barony. What he has done for many years goes beyond just exceptional service. He has been a cornerstone of our barony, and one reason it still continues to be prosperous. To tell you all the ways he is deserving of this award would be to create a list entirely too long for one court. So instead, His Excellency Bjorn would like to simply say that this was the best way we could say to say thank you. And I would just like to echo that. Sir Baird has been the exchequer of Dunor for more years than I could possibly count. He has done many things with this barony, And he's that one person where there is that hole, where there's that need, and he's the person who raises his hand and says, I'll do it, even though it's the 4th time or the 5th time or the 10th time that he's done it in the past. So thank you.
For the newest companion of the Crimson Poppy, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip. Part of our society is the appreciation of the beauty and wonderment of the arts and sciences of the Middle Ages. There are artisans among the populace of Donor who have demonstrated expertise in an art or science, donating their efforts to the barony and enhance their field by teaching others. These artisans embody the spirit and splendor of the golden antelopes which roam the lands of Donor and are deserving of recognition for their efforts. Thus was created l'Ordre d'Antilopeur to recognize those artisans whose studies and expertise in a scientific field have enriched the barony. Therefore do we, Bjorn and Rasheen, Baron and Baroness of Donor, recognize Tova Mjokseglandi for brewing and Edgar Diarasanu for cooking.
Yes, so both of these gentles are relative newcomers in the barony. They've been around for a few years now, and Tova recently has been not only brewing some amazing brews and winning awards with her brews. I believe that she won, I think it was 2nd in the archery and brewing combination challenge at Great Western War, which was great fun. But she's also been teaching, and so she taught a wonderful mead class at the beginning of this year, which I participated in, and I did not think I had an ability to brew, but the mead that came out of that was definitely drinkable. So, but she has been a great influence in promoting the growth of brewing in our barony. And then Edgar, if I know that their Majesties have tasted his cooking at a few of our events, but he has a real heart for service and for sharing with others his culinary expertise, which is phenomenal. I was telling Bjorn the other day that I really miss his cooking. So thank you.
For the newest companions of l'Antelope d'Or, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip. Among the populace of Donor are people of many skills. However, the fighting forms of our society require more than skill. To take up sword and defend the barony, be it in war for Caid or a tournament of skill and honor, requires valor, endurance, and prowess. Such fighters demonstrate the deadly accuracy of the Mojave green serpent which inhabits the deserts of Donor. Those who have brought Donor renown by the chivalry and talent on the field should be recognized for their efforts. Thus was created l'Ordre du Serpent Vert to recognize those individuals whose valor in battle and skill on the tournament field bring glory and honor to themselves and to Donor. Therefore do we, Bjorn and Rasheen, Baron and Baroness of Donor, recognize Björger in Blackie, Logan the Red, Hampton of Donor, and Luigi of the Argent Sparrow.
So I'll take these in 2 parts, because the first person is an armored fighter and the others are rapier fighters. So for Berger, His Excellency actually had something to say. And there are a few words in here that I might say a little differently because His Excellency has a bit of a saltier tongue than I do. So for Berger, this award is long, long overdue. His Excellency has seen him many times. He is always willing, even though he lives a distance away from our fighter practice, to drive over for fighter practice and support wherever he can. He doesn't hesitate to help wherever he can, and he's a darn good fighter and one heck of a person to have in Donor. And then for the Rapier Fighters, Logan the Red is actually the grandson of one of our very long-term Rapier Fighters. And even though he's young, he's already shown his prowess on the field. He is a dynamite fighter, and I can't wait to cross blades with him again. And then Hampton and Luigi, actually, for these 2 awards, they were actually given out at Great Western Moor. However, they were not at Great Western Moor, and therefore it never got announced in court, but I wanted to make sure that they were officially announced. Both excellent fighters and great great ambassadors of Danor on the field. Luigi always makes people laugh with his shenanigans on the Rapier field, and Hampton has made so much progress in Rapier. It's phenomenal. So thank you both.
For the newest companions of Le Serpent Vert, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip. Even as the sun doth shine brightly, so shines the gentle whose service brightens our lives. Therefore does Baroness Rachine recognize Philippe de Trujillo and Batu Sechin Sakajin with the Baroness's favor for surpassingly great service to the barony of Danor.
So first off, Felipe, one of the reasons that these awards are being presented now instead of when they were supposed to at Danor Anniversary is because Danor Anniversary was one of the first events canceled because of current events, so because of this pandemic. And Felipe didn't miss a beat. As soon as we said, hey, we need to cancel this event, we think this is the right thing to do, he said, hey, why don't we have a fun day online? And so he turned something that could have been a heartbreak into something that made me cry for all the right reasons. And so you are more than deserving of this award for so many reasons, but that's the one I want to highlight. And then Batu, you have made delightful sense for this barony. You're one of those people that just kind of showed up into my life and into the barony's life in such a positive way. You've taken care of members of our barony when they needed it most, and you are a wonderful friend and a friend of the barony. Thank you so much.
For the newest recipients of the Baroness's favor, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip. Passing through the glass of hours, swiftly runs the sands of time, and belike those precious granules, numerous and treasured, are the acts of service of Ivo Gauche and Brig Ingen Ueter, upon whom are bestowed the Baron's favor by Baron Bjorn for exemplar service to the barony of Danor.
So from His Excellency, for Eva, she has been such a key part of building our barony up on a regular basis. She's always coming up with ideas for activities for the barony, hosting, and giving us a place to thrive, never hesitating to help when she can. I cannot explain how integral she has been in our growth, and for that I am forever grateful. And for Bree, as much as I talk, as I tease her and smack talk, Bree has been an amazing person for our barony and the SCA as a whole. She always comes with a positive attitude, is willing to go out of her way to lend a hand, and is even there just to support and chat. We had a person wanting to get archery practice going for months, and she has driven down to Marshall for us, ensuring that we could do something that we wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. Thank you so much for that and continuing to help. Even though you may not be a part of our barony, you are still part of our family. Thank you.
For the newest recipients of the Baron's favor, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip. Here closes the court of their Excellencies Bjorn and Rachine. Here resumes the court of their Majesties Alexander and Tahira. In the second year of the Principality, the third Prince of Caid was granted permission from the King of the West to create an Armiger's Award for service. Thus was created the Order of the Dolphin to honor those persons who have served Caid, even beyond its founding as a kingdom, above and beyond the normal expectation of their offices and ranks. Now, therefore, do we, Alexander and Tahira, recognize Zara al-Dimash Kiyaya.
Tahira, it is an absolute pleasure to give this to you for service to the kingdom. And I hope that after you receive this award, that everybody asks you how you did service to your kingdom by taking a wayward king making him sing karaoke and pouring shots down his throat. Enjoy this award.
For the newest companion of the Dolphin of Caid, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip. In the investiture of the King and Queen of Caid, a yellow rose is given to the Queen as a sign of her patronage of the arts, and she is reminded of her responsibility to be an example of honor and gentle grace for her people. She is, therefore, First Lady of Courtesy in the realm, and it is thus fitting that she should, from time to time, find means to honor those persons who, by their uncommon pursuit of the ideals of honor and courtesy, display gentle behavior as a way of life, and provide inspiration for us all. And this order is called the Legion of Courtesy, because those who aspire to the high ideals of the order should be legion, or without finite number. And the symbol of this order is a golden heraldic rose, dependent from the ribbons of the colors of Caid, and is given by the Queen to such as she finds courteous and gracious to all in the realm, and whose example enriches us all. Now, therefore, does Her Majesty, Queen Tahira, recognize Fenella Harper.
So I could give this award to Fenella strictly on her courteous behavior and how she treats others. She is those things, but on top of that, Fenella also has the power to inspire others with her music. I am so grateful to have her in this kingdom. Her passion and her art just truly inspires me to be a better person. And I'm so happy to be able to honor her today.
For the newest Legionnaire of Courtesy, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip. Will all companions of the Crescent please raise your vessels? The Crescent, set upon the crowns of Caid, is a symbol of the service owed to the kingdom by its monarchs. It has now become a reminder of the unselfish service done by others. The Order of the Crescent is thus given to recognize those persons who have served the kingdom for many years, giving their time and efforts generously and courteously. This order bears with it a grant of arms and ranks equally in precedence with all other grant-bearing orders of Caid. Now, therefore, do we, Alexander and Tahira, recognize Logan Blackroon.
No way! You gave me my dolphin! I love you right now.
Can I speak? Would that be all right? I'm always stunned at the amazing work that is put out by Al Saeed East. They're the incredible people they have there. And today it gives me great pleasure to say thank you, Logan, for all the things you did. In particular, the work that you did at Great Western War and the motor pool. How could we not recognize you for the incredible work that you did? Thank you so much.
Your Majesty, it's my honor to dye my hair blue just for you.
For the newest companion of the Crescent, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip.
Thank you.
All companions of the Crescent have their Majesties leave to lower your vessels. Your Majesties, the Baronage of Dreiburgen begs leave to recognize worthy nobles of their mythical lands.
It's Dreiburgen. Yeah. Okay, let's do Dreiburgen.
All right.
Here opens the court of their excellencies, Logan and Tina. The Order of the Towers of Dreiburgen was created in Anna Societatis 11 by Walt and Alison von Markheim, founding Baron and Baroness of Dreiburgen, to award those individuals who have consistently demonstrated a willingness to work for the good of the barony. Therefore, it is with great pleasure that we, Logan and Tina, Baron and Baroness of Dreiburgen, upon recognition of that great service which has been done within the confines of our barony, do hereby recognize Kungun Benehonig and Cesar Alejandro de Baracoa. The awarding of this medallion signifies a recognition by us and the citizens of Dreiburgen that you are richly deserving of this award for your efforts in the service of our barony.
So Kungin, she's still fairly new, maybe not even quite 2 years or about 2 years. And she came in and noticed we were missing stuff for children. So she volunteered to run youth and she just ran at it. She's running youth at this event. She put together a whole online thing and she has just done so much work for the youth of our community and our barony. We are very happy to have her.
Cesar, brother. He's not so new. No, I love you, man. Your service. It's wonderful to see you, your smile. Right now, your support of the youth combat community is fantastic. You really have earned this. You deserve it. It's our pleasure to give this to you.
For the newest companions of the Towers of Dreiburgen, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip. Companions of the Tower of Dreiburgen exemplify the spirit of service and hard work so prized by our barony. There are those within the order, however, whose dedication to service to Dreiburgen merits special renown. Be it known that by dint of continuing dedication and service to the barony of Dreiburgen, their excellencies Logan and Tina hereby recognize the following gentles with an augmentation to their membership in the Order of the Tower of Dreiburgen: Aldgitha of Ashwood, Fionuala de Buchanan, and Megan DeBari.
So Elgitha, if anybody doesn't know Elgitha, she helps out all the time. And she sincerely does it from her wanting to. She's not expecting anything back from you. She just wants to help. And she has been very integral as in my time sitting. And she was very integral in helping putting together this event. And putting together other arts and science events. She's just an amazing person, and we're really glad she's part of our barony.
Grandmother, this doesn't seem like it's enough. I mean, everything that you've done for us, spending the time that you talk with me, sharing your wisdom, but right now, your willingness to step back into the craziness of Seneschal. I can't say thank you enough. I love you.
And Baroness Megan, you came in and stepped up to run Exchequer for us. You've been here in the barony this whole time, and you're helping out, and you've jumped in, and you've helped out with Rain, you've helped out with barony. And we are just very, very glad to have you and continue to recognize the work that you do for our barony. Thank you very much.
For the newest recipients of the Augmented Towers of Dreiburgen, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip. The Order of the Defenders of the Three Towers was created by William Antar of Navan and Lysig McLaughlin, 5th Baron and Baroness of Dreiburgen, and was first given in Anna Societatis 40 by Malcolm Albrick and Robin the Grey, 6th Baron and Baroness of Dreiburgen, to recognize the warriors of Dreiburgen for their service in arms to the barony. Thus is given in token a medallion argent on a pile inverted throughout azure in escutcheon argent, a bordure embattled azure, to those who have given service in the martial arts and shown great honor both on and off the battlegrounds and tournament fields. It is therefore with pleasure that we, Logan and Tina, Baron and Baroness of Dreiburgen, upon recognition of your valiant deeds and continuing service in defense of our barony, do this day recognize Ramvoldus Kroll and Geraldo Riera.
I get to go first. Ram. First, in front of everybody, happy birthday. Yay! This isn't for that. For your prowess in archery, for your commitment to teaching others, for your commitment to grow the community in our burn this.
And for Geralt, we wanted to give this award to him at our anniversary, but he was off working. And he has become an exemplary rapier fighter out on the field. Not only in the field here, but he went to another kingdom, fought in another barony in their newbie knockabout for rapiers, and won that champion. So he came back to our lands as a champion from another land. And he is very deserving of this, and I can't wait to watch him cross swords with the other rapiers out there.
For the newest defenders of the towers of Dreiburgen, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip. The order of the illuminated Tower of Dreiburgen was first given in Anna Societatis 24 by Leo de Coronado and Rowena de Segovia, 2nd Baron and Baroness of Dreiburgen, to honor those persons in the barony who have demonstrated great accomplishment in the arts, thereby enlightening and ennobling us all. The token of this order is a tower in radiance, inset with a gem to distinguish the art form being recognized. In recognition of accomplishment in storytelling, we have placed a coral upon the medallion, and hereby recognize Edwin of Runden, Hallbrost Starson, and Ivar Sigurdsson. In recognition of accomplishment in brewing, we have placed a topaz upon the medallion, and hereby recognize Oregon Filia Flaviani and Tracy the Grey. In recognition of accomplishment in fiber arts, we have placed an aquamarine upon the medallion, and hereby recognize Iriel McMail Ian. Your Excellency.
Edwin. I remember my first St. Corrigan. Around a small campfire, we were so just returning from a time off. And you told us a great story. And you've been telling great stories this entire time. You've introduced me to Vault, the first Baron of Dreiburgen. You keep the history, you keep it real, and you're happy to share it. And I just love listening to you tell a story. Thank you.
And Halbert, I have watched you grow in your storytelling, your willingness to share your stories. Also, you're delving into research and trying to translate stories into a language that we could understand. And I admire you for your storytelling, and I want to encourage you to continue to do it. You are a great storyteller. Thank you very much.
Grandfather.
Ivar.
Oh, Ivar. Grandfather. Your stories are fantastic. You tell them very well. There's a special one close to me about a guy that we like. But I love your stories, and I really encourage you to keep doing them. They make me smile every time. Thank you.
In Oregon, for your brewing, you make some fantastic fermented foods and cheeses, and you are willing to try and make anything and everything, and you share it with such passion. We really enjoy your brewing, and we'd like you to continue to do it.
Tracy the Grey, your brewing is fantastic. Your backgammon game is impressive. You are fun to talk to. Keep playing. Come out, share more. We love it. You're doing great. Thank you.
And Iriel, close to my heart, I met him at a birthday party for my 16-year-old, 14-year-old, several years ago. And he was cross-stitching instead of participating in the teenage party. And I looked at him and told him, I have a place for you where people will help you grow this and enjoy what you're doing. And he has come so far, and he's entered into several competitions. He makes stuff for people for other kingdoms. I can't believe that it's taken me this long to recognize him in our barony for his fiber art.
Congratulations, Iriel. Well done.
For the newest companions of the illuminated Tower of Dreiburgen, hip hip, hip hip, Hip hip. Part of the activities of the day today have been arts and sciences competitions. There were 4 categories: jewelry, woodworking, painting, and a wild card category. Here are the victors of the day. In the jewelry and woodworking and painting categories, the winner is Ramboldus Kroll. For the wild card category, the winner is Michelle of Harris upon York from Artemisia. Those entries were all part of choosing the champions, the arts and sciences champions of Dreiburgen. There were adult entries and there were youth entries. Her Excellency has chosen as her youth arts and sciences champion, Wyatt of Dreiburgen, for his amazing entries. And the new arts and sciences champion of Dreiburgen is Ramvoldus Kroll. For the winners, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip. Your Excellencies, have you words for your people?
We do. I'm going to read this. Greetings to the populace. We, Logan and Tyne, come to you with heartfelt gratitude for allowing us to serve this great barony of Dreiburgen as your baron and baroness. We have met many new people, created many happy memories, and are forever changed. It is time for us to find our new heirs to continue the great forward motion of this barony. Being baron and baroness gives you an opportunity to see the SCA in a way that can only be explained by being there. We encourage you to write letters of intent to serve. We will send out via Facebook, email, website, and our newsletter the recipients that need to receive your letters of intent. We will be accepting letters from today until October 31st. In the announcement that goes out, we will also list the timeline of when we would like to have our decisions, when stepping up will happen, and everything to do with that. If you have any questions regarding this, please contact the Baron or I or our Seneschal Fiona. Thank you very much for letting us be here. We look forward to the next journey.
Here closes the court of their Excellencies, Logan and Tyna.
Here resumes the court of their Majesties, Alexander and Tahira. Will all companions of the Lux Caidus please raise your vessel? From time to time, it comes to the attention of the crown that an artisan has displayed surpassing skill in some art or science for a span of years, and has thereby enriched the kingdom and enhanced the enjoyment of all. Therefore was created the Order of the Lux Caidus, for such artisans are the light of the kingdom. This order bears with it a grant of arms and ranks equally in precedence with all other grant-bearing orders of Caid. Now, therefore, do we, Alexander and Tahira, recognize Clota of Holcomb for Viking wire weaving and embroidery.
So, Clota is very, very skilled in Viking wire weaving and her embroidery. Her outfits always truly look amazing, and she is so willing to share her talents with others. We are so happy to have her leading, along with her lord, our barony of Nordvaka. So again, thank you, Clota, and welcome to the order.
For the newest companion of the Lux Caidus, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip. All companions of the Lux Caidus have their Majesties' leave to lower their vessels. Throughout the kingdom, there come deeds or acts that bear recognition outside the regular structure of awards. For such deeds does the Crown grant a royal recognition of excellence. Therefore, in recognition of her outstanding efforts and contributions to the realm of Caid, do we, Alexander and Tahira, recognize Alaskai Rosal.
In an incredible job taking care of the wiki and archiving it. I cannot even fathom trying to do that job. It is the amount of work that must have gone into that. Truly, boggles the mind. And this is an award she's absolutely deserving of, and it's our pleasure to give it to her.
For the newest recipient of the Royal Recognition of Excellence, hip hip, hip hip, hip hip. Their Majesties welcome any member of the populace who wishes to swear fealty at this time. Please do not unmute your mics, but raise your right hand or bear your sword or circlet as an implement on which to swear fealty. Here do I swear by mouth and hand, fealty and service to the crown and kingdom of Caid, that I will conduct myself with dignity and grace, obeying their Majesties' lawful commands in all matters concerning this realm, and, mindful that the harmony of Caid springs from my own deeds, that I will deal courteously and fairly with those of every degree until the crown depart the throne, death take me, or the world end.
And we, for our part, swear fealty to these people of Caid and to all their households,
to protect and defend them against every creature with all our power, until we depart from our throne,
death take us,
or the world end.
So say we, Alexander, King of Caid.
So say we, Tahira, Queen of Caid.
Please remember that any award medallions and promissory scrolls will be arranged to be delivered to you at a future event. There being no further business to promote the harmony or welfare of the kingdom, Your Majesties, do you have any parting words for the gathered populace?
Your Majesty.
Thank you for joining us today. We hope that everyone is doing well. And again, we look forward to seeing everyone when the future time comes that we can.
In these most difficult of times, it is difficult sometimes for us to find the light that we wish would be here for us all the time with our SCA family. However, today we have many things to be thankful for. The awards that have been given out to these most deserving people, freeing Faiza and bringing happiness again to Caid. And with that, we thought about how some of our populace might be suffering now and having the most difficult times. And in discussing with Her Majesty and Her Highness and His Highness, we've decided to take a portion of Al Saheed East, in fact. And we're going to take that portion of that land and make it a place where people can go, where we can send our artisans, our fighters, everyone in this kingdom and dare to dream to be the best, to be incredible, to be unbelievable. And we're going to call that place Dreiburgen. The mythical place of Dreiburgen shall now be in part of this kingdom, and let it continue to be a mythical land where the most magnificent things come forward. It's a great time for Caid now. Even in this most difficult of time, we will be the light for the known world.
Oh.
Your Highnesses, have you any parting words for the assembled populace?
How does one follow that? It was really wonderful seeing everybody. And it's lovely that we have this beautiful land that's no longer mythical. And I hope to see everybody again soon.
Stay safe, everybody, and hopefully this will all pass soon. And also, congratulations to Faiza, and thank you for Your Majesty for recreating Dreiburgen again. I'm glad that they're back around with us.
Your Excellencies, Logan and Tina, have you any parting words for the assembled populace?
Oh, Your Majesty. Oh, well played. Well played. No, I've got tears. It's good to be back. It's been a long road in our mythical lands, but thank you for your guidance and your theater.
We were very much sad, and I have heard from several people how sad they were that we had not been able to get together to do the interesting things that we had planned.
I was looking forward to it.
It was going to be a lot of fun. Thank you all for being here. After court is over, you can go back to the main room to hang out in Dreiburgen Summer Arts Starkhoven Collegium of the Desert. Classes will start up again at 3. but please come and be welcome to hang out in the main room or go get some lunch.
Your Excellencies, Jens and Ida, have you any parting words for the assembled populace?
I'd like to thank everybody for attending and showing up and making this day spectacular for us. I'd like to mention that there's a revel tomorrow from 2 to 4. Anybody is welcome to come along.
Wanted to show this off. We forgot to show this off while we were naming our court and guard. This is the belt saver that everyone's going to get once we get to see you again in person. And for the revel tomorrow, the Zoom link for that can be found on the Barony of Gyldenholt's Facebook page. Thank you, Your Majesties. Thank you, Kingdom of Caid. Thank you, Gyldenholt. We love you all.
Thank you.
Your Excellency Rasheen, have you any parting words for the assembled populace?
Just a thank you to their Excellencies of Dreiburgen for hosting us and to their Excellencies of Gyldenholt for allowing us to share their day and give out some of our awards. So thank you both and hope everyone has a great rest of the day.
Here closes the court of their Majesties, Alexander and Tahira. You have their Majesties and Excellencies' permission to depart and go about the afternoon's business. Long live their Majesties, Alexander and Tahira. Long live their Highnesses, Pansa and Katherine.
Long live their Excellencies, Logan and Tina. Long live their Excellencies, Jens and Ida. Long live their Excellencies, Bjorn and Rasheen.
Long live Danor.
Long live Gyldenholt. Long live Dreiburgen.
Long live Caid. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Thank you all and have a great rest of your day.